Hello everybody, my name is Sniper Swan and I welcome you back to the next Smash Brothers discussion video I want to do on this channel. I know I haven't done one of these in like a month or so now. I've talked about various topics since Smash Bros. Ultimate. Since I've been starting to do these Smash discussions for Smash Bros. Ultimate, I've talked about why hasn't Mario's Final Smash been changed, well, it's the mystery mode, Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem, was there too much representation, third-party characters just make sense, it's going to be new retro characters, various different discussions. I have that probably in a playlist somewhere, or at least by now, hopefully I make one by the time this video is done. Down there, you can check it out if you want. This time I want to talk about bosses. In my opinion, like what bosses should be in, like my opinion, what bosses should be in this new mysterious mode to join the likes of Rathalos and Dracula. Like, what cool ideas for Nintendo character bosses and Nintendo franchise bosses and bosses from third parties that I feel would make sense to be kind of cool to see in Smash Brothers. And I wrote a big freaking list here of like 30 different characters. I'm going to go over my thoughts on each and every one of them after doing this little bit of research for cool ideas for bosses, and then pick out maybe about 10 of them or so that I think would be very good choices. In my personal top 10-ish, not top 10, but my top choices I would love to see as a wish list for bosses in this game. There's the likes of King Boo. I hear a lot of people talking about King Boo, and King Boo would be a really cool choice to represent especially Luigi's Mansion and give Luigi a boss in this game. It would be a giant ghost. Maybe you could send different ghosts at you as a big boss, and not all these characters are, big giant bosses, nor should all the bosses be. Some of the bosses should be smaller bosses. It's cool to fight a boss that's like more so on your level, like on your playing field, like even like character wise. But I think King Boo would be kind of cool because it's an iconic long running Mario villain that's now majorly in Luigi's Mansion, and it's a giant ghost, and there's a lot you could do for his boss battle. I also put in the likes of Dimentio or Shadow Queen to represent bosses from Paper Mario, but that's also based off the fact that we really should have Paper Mario as a character. But if we don't get a Paper Mario character, maybe we could always just get a boss. And they're major characters throughout the series, throughout being major bosses in Paper Mario. And you can do a lot with their movesets. So the Dimentio and Shadow Queen don't have much to say about them, given that I'm not super familiar with the characters, because I haven't played every single Paper Mario. But they do have cool looks to them and personalities, and what you could get away with probably with a moveset would be kind of cool, and that gives a villain to not just Paper Mario, but like even Shadow Queen's a villain for Peach. So there you go with that. The likes of Wart, which would be kind of cool given that it's, Doki Doki Panic, like he's now technically a Mario character. It's a giant frog villain, and it's a throwback villain. He's fairly big. He'd make even probably bigger as a boss battle to Super Mario Bros. 2 American Edition, Doki Doki Panic. And it'd be kind of a cool, nice little throwback, nice little, reference to that if you want to put him as a character. And it's an iconic old school boss. You could also do Fawful, which I mentioned as a character in my newcomer series list, but he might make more sense as a boss, given that he's a major boss in the Mario and Luigi games, major character. And it'd be kind of cool to see him. As for Zelda characters, Skull Kid, if he's not playable, you could pretty much turn Majora's Skull Kid into Majora's Wrath and fighting some giant battle with like standard Skull Kid, and then a secondary form going to Majora's Wrath or something. And it's a big small boss, a big boss transition. Vaati is a major villain in the Toon Link Zelda games. Demise, we have Ganondorf. We should Demise is the origins of the evil Ganondorf type thing, and it represents Skyward Sword. And I think it'd be kind of cool, a nice little reference to that, given that we never got Skyward Sword Link or Zelda. It'd be kind of cool to see like the Skyward Sword form of Ganondorf. Ganon himself, like Pig Ganon, would be kind of cool. Like it's a giant blue pig classic Ganon. We're getting a Link to the Past / Link Between Worlds Zelda. It'd be kind of cool to make that her major boss, and for Young Link too, really. And Ganondorf, Zant, decently. Zant and General Onyx. Zant would be kind of cool because Twilight Princess is a fairly well loved game, and you could do a very, very, very wacky dancing all over the frickin' place sword type move set boss battle with Zant. General Onyx because it represents one of the Game Boy Color's Oracle games, and he's a giant. It's basically a giant golden knight guy with like a chain weapon. I forgot what his weapon was. I knew it was like a chain with some sort of like sword blade thing at the end. It'd be kind of cool to see him as a boss, and a nice little throwback character for someone we haven't seen in forever. And it's made by Capcom, so I'm wondering, those games were made by Capcom, so I'm wondering if they can get him or the other villain. As for like Metroid, you have Kraid, which will be a big freaking boss. I'd say definitely go for Kraid. It'd be kind of cool. because we're getting Ridley as a character, it'd be nice to see represent one of the original bosses from the first game, SAX, because it's just a freaking creepy game. If you played Fusion, that character is so freaking creepy. You can have a battle with this character or it can come out of anywhere. Think about it, instead of just being a plain battle, you're moving through a stage and it's trying to come after you and you have to hide and then attack it and stuff. That would be awesome. Nightmare would be a cool boss too from that. As for Pokemon, you could have Giovanni. You battle probably not Giovanni, but the Pokemon like Nidoking, Nidoqueen, and he's just throwing out Pokeballs and you beat up Pokemon, then you have to go beat him up. Or N, the same thing. N throws out Pokeballs. I would love to have seen him as an actual Pokemon trainer type character, but that's now done since Generation 5 is a long time ago. Genesect, you could do that as a major villain-esque Generation 5 Pokemon. Or Guzma, it represents Generation 7, and everyone loves Guzma. And he could throw out his Pokemon and stuff like that too. So I'd say definitely if there's a Pokemon boss, it should be one of the main villain leader trainer things, and you should fight their Pokemon. There's always for Earthbound Mother, you have Maskman or Gygus. Gygus is the most legendary, more major, large boss battle. You probably can get more out of a boss battle than Maskman with that. As for Fire Emblem, you could do Black Knight, you could do Grima, you could do Ashnar, Jada, Duma, Garneth, Medus, Idun. It'd be all kind of cool. Like, it definitely should be a dragon boss. Someone that's like a giant dragon, because that's a big major part of Fire Emblem, is someone that's a major, that could turn into a dragon, which basically limits it to the likes of Duma, Medus, and Idun. And Medus is Marth's major boss, so it's the original major villain of the first Fire Emblem, so I'd say he would make most sense. Duma to represent someone, because I don't know if we're going to get, or Celica, but throw in Duma and it's this giant monster dragon thing. Might as well do that. And then Idun is Roy's main villain. She turns into a dragon. She's a cursed dragon. Fight her. If we were to get a boss from Punch-Out, there's Mr. Sandman, Super Macho Man, King Hippo. King Hippo is the most iconic choice. Mr. Sandman's most threatening choice, especially because he's a major villain, especially in the recent game on the Wii. And Super Macho Man is just super... he's iconic too, and he's been long-standing since like Super Punch-Out and Super Nintendo, so yeah, you can go for him as well. If there is a boss from Xenoblade, obviously it should be Metalface, but there's also Luxar from Xenoblade Chronicles X, or you could pick one of the major villains from 2, but I think it'd be one of those more so as a boss battle. I still say Deathborn, if he's not playable, he should be the boss for F-Zero. And then Andross, I know we have the assist trophy, but the assist trophy is based off the Super Nintendo game. I would rather, take Andross, the actual monkey man Andross that you fight like in 64 and 0 and whatnot, and Adventures and all that, and make him a boss. It'd be kind of cool. Hades or Medusa for Kid Icarus, both of which stand out. Marks or Megalor for Kirby. Marks is more iconic, maybe make him the boss. The Tiki things from Donkey Kong, we already have King Hero as a playable character, so make the Tiki things probably the boss. DJ Octavio for the Inklings. As for like third-party bosses, Dr. Wily has to be there with Mega Man. He has to ride his giant skeleton skull mask ship, and you need to kick his butt and make him be like, begging, "Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!" Dr. Eggman obviously should be there for Sonic. Liquid Snake and Metal Gear Rex would be freaking awesome, and fighting a giant Metal Gear would be amazing. The Pac-Man Ghost would be kind of cool. Father Baldir for Bayonetta, the first game. I'd rather represent that, even though I think the villain in Bayonetta 2 is a lot more interesting. Father Baldir just has that face of a villain I want to beat up and take out, so he's more of a douche anyway, so I want to destroy him, and he'd be an interesting boss too. Either Sephiroth or Kefka. No, we have Cloud in for the Final Fantasy representation, so it makes more sense to have Sephiroth, and then you could probably do the One-Winged Angel theme, which would be awesome to fight him in. But I'm thinking Kefka, because Kefka is another iconic, really cool Final Fantasy villain, and instead of making the villain for Final Fantasy just sticking to Final Fantasy 7, how about we represent one of the other Final Fantasies? And 6 is the last one that was on Nintendo, the last main one before they did all this stuff now with 9 and 10, 10.2 and 15 chibi phone mobile one, and hopefully in the future 16 plus. I would probably personally go for Kefka, just to be different, but if we want to line it up with Cloud, you got Sephiroth, and Bison Akuma. Someone Ryu needs to have a villain up too. And that's basically it. There's other ones you could probably do for other franchises, but yeah, I would definitely go for that's basically the list of like some 40 some odd characters I mentioned. Now, out of those characters, the ones I would say I want the most. Okay, I basically mentioned 15. So it's basically, let's say, a wish list of 15 characters. I want to say King Boo. We need King Boo. He should just stand there and stand there. Skull Kid, instead of probably making him on the playable character on a roster, maybe make him a boss. And he could be a boss that has 2 stages. Normal Skull Kid Majora and then Majora's Wrath. Demise would be kind of cool because then it's like the origin of the thing. So maybe the boss battle could be like Ganondorf fighting his original demon self. SAX, because they could really do something really interesting with that battle and maybe hopefully make it more scary like it is in the game. Giovanni, iconic Team Rocket leader from Pokemon. We should have someone from Pokemon. And if we have a team leader, which is really who they should go for, pick Giovanni and beat up his Pokemon. Duma and Medus for Fire Emblem, because original villain boss and someone from Echoes, which we probably won't get a character, and they're both iconic villains because they're both the first 2 games villains, like from Guidance / now Echoes and Shadow Dragon, and it should be a dragon. We should, if we're putting in Rathalos from Monster Hunter, there should be a giant freaking dragon from Fire Emblem. Metal Face, easily Metal Face. I would love to see Metal Face. He would be so awesome to fight because of the remarks he would make too, because now we can actually have him talk. He was just there as a stage hazard in Smash 4. I'd like to actually hear his voice and Mumkar come and be like, rah, rah, rah. Oh, that's a spoiler. Oh, if you haven't played the game, it's Mumkar. And just maybe you fight Metal Face at first, and then he comes out as Mumkar. Mr. Sandman, he would be so threatening. This big giant freaking boxer just wants to destroy you. Deathborn, and Andross, because they both deserve, Star Fox and F-Zero deserve villains. Hades, because he stands out and he could be the big boss, more so than Medusa, and he's basically the main boss of Kid Icarus Uprising anyway, so let's do that. Dr. Wily, because Mega Man deserves them. Liquid Snake Rex, because it'd be freaking awesome. And M. Bison, because Ryu. Bison! That's my wish list there. It's my idea. Like, what bosses would you guys want to see? Like we already know 2 of them, and there has to be more. If there's Dracula and there's Rathalos, we don't even know a single Nintendo boss yet. We don't know if they're going to bring back some of the bosses from, like, Brawl, or turn some of the stage hazards into bosses from Smash 4. Maybe the Yellow Devil will be a boss. That would be interesting. You never know. I would say, like, what would you want to see? This like, I'm just talking about bosses. Like, the bosses they pick, I want to see more Nintendo-oriented bosses, because I don't want to see too many originals. If they bring back some of the bosses from Brawl, that'd be kind of cool. Like Taboo and everything. I mean, I'd be okay with at least Taboo, but none of those other bosses. Like, I feel the missed opportunity in Brawl to have Super Nintendo and Super third-party oriented bosses. I want this to be focused entirely just on video game bosses. Taboo will be okay with, but make it more so like some actual game bosses, because we're going to fight Dracula. We're going to fight a Rathalos. Why would I want to fight some random gigantic robot knight or some random things when I could be fighting like Giovanni or King Boo or Medus or Mr. Sandman or Metal Face or SAX or Liquid Snake and a giant freaking Metal Gear Rex? I'd rather have that. So put in the comments what you always think. That's bosses. What bosses do you want to see in Smash Brothers Ultimate? Put down below, discuss it there. Do you like the bosses I named? Would you agree with me on some of the bosses I mentioned? Discuss it, have fun. This is the next discussion. I'm hoping to bring out some more of these after this direct, so that I could probably start talking more about, I want to start talking about more Smash discussions and kind of ease up on the newcomers a little bit throughout this month, even though I'm still going on the road to 150. Discuss it, have fun, and we can talk about it later. My name is Sniper's Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day, and stay tuned for the Nintendo Direct later, when we can hopefully learn about some more bosses. Bye.